Nope, 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 nope. Oh, there we go. Okay, it is 6 o'clock and I will call to order the Plainfield Charter Township Board meeting for May 11th, 2026. We'll begin our meeting with the invocation and pledge led by Bob. Bob?
Good evening, everybody. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for blessing this meeting and bringing a really good crowd here. This is a representative form of government that you've blessed, that you've endorsed for us to hopefully do your will. And thank you for protecting us on our way here. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
But I have more. No.
All right, thank you, Bob, and thank you, everyone. First item on our agenda is public comments. And before I open the floor for that, I'll go over the rules, but I'd also like to mention that later on in the agenda, we're having public hearings for two topics. If your comments pertain to those topics, you might want to wait because there will be time for comments. That's exactly what we're doing is public hearing. So for public comments, there's lots of people here who I haven't seen before, so I'm going to give you some rules. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. There'll be a clock up on the screen which will help you manage your time. If you get close to time, I'm going to try not to be too interruptive, but I'll let you know. No individual may speak more than once. Public comments are exactly that. It is not a question and answer period. Please be respectful of others. No abusive, obscene, or irrelevant comments will be allowed. If you'd like to make a comment, stay in your seat, raise your hand. I'll call on you, and you'll need to go to the podium. If you would, please state your name and address for our record. And Jack's going to make sure the microphone is on. Thank you, Jack. Okay, anyone interested in making a comment at this time? Survey says, okay.
Good evening, everyone. Lynn Affendulis, 273 Summit Avenue in Rockford. And I stand before you as a candidate for state representative in the 90th District. I was delighted and honored to represent a good portion of this district a number of years ago. Many of you were serving then. You all are supposed, I'm not buying votes, but you're all supposed to age. I feel like I've aged a little bit more than you all have right here. It's good to see you. I am delighted to be here, and it's kind of loud. A number of things that drove me to make this decision again, and not the least of which, of course, was when Brian Posthumous decided not to run. I thought it was a good opportunity for take one more bite at the apple. And in the time, I served in 2019 and 2020. And the budget and the government has grown considerably since then. And I'm concerned about that. It is one of the things that I'm really passionate about. My first term was Governor Whitmer's first term. My only term was Governor Whitmer's first term. That year, she proposed a $55 billion budget. This year, she proposed an $88 billion budget. And in that time, the population of the state has not grown more than, and not even grown 1%, 60,000 people. It's unsustainable, it's unhealthy, it's not good for our kids, it's not good for our grandkids, it's not good for the people here who can't afford any more reaching into the pocket by the government. So government growth and government creep are very important to me. I'm passionate about those. I'm passionate about letting communities control their destiny and their future. I'm passionate about letting families control the destiny of their children and making sure that they're informed of what's happening with their children in schools and in healthcare. I'm passionate about being a legislator who works with dignity and civility and represents the people in a way that makes them proud and that makes my party proud as well. So I am delighted to be here. I thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself, and I've been knocking doors in Plainfield this week. It's been delightful, and I'm going to go back and do that shortly. So thank you for the time.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Rachel Crowther, 5779 13 Mile Road. I am a Cortland Township trustee, so pleasure to meet all of you. I am also running for State House Representative in the 90th District. I am running because I want to restore integrity to this office. Far too long, our representatives have not represented the people whom have elected them, and I'm here to change that. This year, I am running a grassroots campaign. We are funded by the people who will send me to Lansing to work on their behalf. I am a community organizer, advocate, a longtime Rockford resident, lifetime Michigander, and I am running because I believe the people deserve a representative who is going to work on their behalf. So I thank you so much for your service, and I look forward to working with you when I get to Lansing. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
James Dykema, 6339 Boulder Ridge. As you guys all know, that I had 2 FOIA appeals that came before you, and I'm here to talk about that. I'm pleased that the FOIA appeal process worked for the most part. I know when I did the first one, the email chain said, well, I've been here 8 years and we've never had this. My problem is that both of my FOIA appeals resulted in getting more information. So I had to appeal to get information that should have been given to me in the first place. That's wrong. And for it to happen a second time within 6 months is disheartening. So you guys as a board oversee the staff. And this happens twice. Why would you not try and fix that? And when I got more of the documents, which shouldn't have taken that long, I understand why they tried to hide these documents. And I'm glad I was finally able to get them. They tried to hide the documents because the staff knows what they're doing is wrong. The engineer report that came out because of my appeal directly contradicts the restrictive covenant that the parcel has that I FOIA'd about. In fact, Brian and Newhoff changed their numbers because they had discussions with the property owner. That's not how a legal restriction covenant works. You can't say, oh, well, I had discussions with the property owner. They said those numbers were from 2020 instead of 2023. That is a failure, and you as a board, if you just allow your staff to do this, are complicit within it. The engineer's letter agrees with my previous letter that was written to all of you and addressed to you, that some of the stockpiles had increased in volume, which was a clear violation of the restricted covenant. But your staff turns a blind eye to this because it's not our pit, it's a different contractor's. And the Brian Newhoff engineer says, well, we concur that this happened, but we nor staff thought there was a problem. How, if you have a restrictive covenant that you guys all approved that many years ago, just let your staff and engineers say, oh, well, we don't really care what the restrictive covenant says. We don't see a problem with it. But yet you hold our feet to the fire. Maybe it's because somebody just wants to stare down and live across the street from a different pit. But since he doesn't live across the street from this pit anymore, he doesn't care. I don't know. But I think that you guys continue to allow your staff to get away with this is difficult for the township, and the people of this township deserve better.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Gerald Stepanovich, 4666 Weber Northeast. Couple things. First of all, I'd like to thank the Water Department for a 9:30 p.m. call out a couple months ago. Called out, I did not have a shut off on the inside of my house pre-meter, and I had a little water issue, so I would like to thank them guys for coming out and doing that. However, I don't know how Plainfield Township can continue to allow development with all these apartments, all these other different, right down here on the corner of Coit and Plainfield. I mean, and then up on the corner of 5 Mile in the Beltline, continue to allow all this development while we are being fed poison water. I mean, we are adding apartments, we're adding to the tax base. You guys continue to allow this stuff, and we have still not gotten our water issue resolved. We continue to pay Pre-New off gobs of money, and they can't find anything for us. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to make the meeting when they were here because I was out of town working. And again, one of the other things I brought up at a previous meeting was this 6 PM meeting time is BS as far as I'm concerned. Most other townships around here all have 7 PM meeting times. And, you know, the traffic getting here, I mean, I had to race home from work to try to get here to make my statement. And I just don't understand how we continue to put pressure on our water system while we are getting fed poison. And that's on you guys. That's on the Planning Development, Planning Commission. It's on you guys. Something needs to be addressed. And, you know, you can sit back there and smirk all you want, but I think it's bullshit that we're getting fed this stuff. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, seeing no one else, I'll close the, okay,
4440 Plainfield, Brentfield's now the new owner of 2335 5 Mile, the Boer Building. I purchased that a couple weeks ago. Start time. I made it a few minutes late. Not gonna have dinner. I'll do it later. I don't know why you guys are doing it either, but as he said, I talked to Kevin Green today for a second. He's our township supervisor, one of our neighbors. They start at 7 o'clock. I remember you guys doing this payroll thing when you guys were talking about trying to be in alignment with other communities as far as pay. Well, same thing, alignment with starting time. Everybody else starts at 7. So I don't know why we ever changed to 6, whose idea it was, but it's hard to make it just to come to meetings for no real good reason. Unless you have meat in the game, you have to take time off to come because it matters to you. It's hard to make it. I've said this for the 3rd time. You guys are probably getting sick of hearing it, but I'm gonna keep pushing it. I think the 6 o'clock is dumb. And the water thing, yes, we're gonna pay a premium for water, but we're gonna keep approving apartment complexes. I don't understand. So we got our water fixed. Why are we gonna stress out our system that much more? Thanks for listening.
okay, anyone else? Okay, I'll close the floor for public comments at this time, and we'll move on to the review of our consent agenda. Without any comments, concerns from the board, I would seek a motion to approve the agenda, including the consent agenda and accounts payable.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda, including the consent agenda and the accounts payable.
Thank you, Jack. Support?
Support.
Thank you, Kathy. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Remiga. Yes. Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
Ms. Beatty.
Yes.
Mr. Hagedorn.
Yes.
Mr. McKellar, yes. Mrs. Morrow. Yes. Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. First up on our agenda is a presentation from the Meyer LPGA Classic folks, Kathy Taylor, and you have a guest? No.
Good evening. I'm Kathy Cooper, Executive Director of the Meyer LPGA Classic. Taylor Gleghorn, who is half of me, is here. Couldn't do it without him, but here we are again to tell you we're in our 12th year of the Meyer LPGA Classic. Thrilled to be back. Want to thank you for all the support over the last 11 years. And as we kick off this year, it's looking to be as big or bigger than it's ever been. We started ticket sales a few weeks ago, very strong, best year ever. This is all to support feeding our hungry families in these communities. So what I want to do is just give you some updates on this year. We are at $13.5 million that we've raised through last year to support local food pantries. We have another $1.5 million goal for this year. If we do that, we're going to be right there, close to $15 million. So very pleased. Thank you for all the support. Tournament date this week is June 18 through 21. And actually 15 starts on a Monday with some celebrity pro-ams and things like that. I'll run through the schedule in just a minute, but actual tournament days on Blythefield course, June 18th through Father's Day, the 21st. We have increased our purse for the LPGA women and players by $250,000, which is great. We feel that we'll be having another strong field again this year with 144 players to come. And again, we'll be live on CBS and Golf Channel, which is great. Lots of activity this year, along with a few expansions with which Taylor will tell you about, but strong week of events. We start on Monday with a couple of pro-ams, one at Blythefield, one at Egypt Valley. We have a qualifier in the afternoon at Blythefield. And then on Tuesday, we have another celebrity pro-am out at Egypt Valley and our annual champions party at Meyer Gardens. Wednesday is our official Meyer LPGA Classic Pro-Am. That is when all of the LPGA players will be playing with many of our community and sponsor teams out on the course. Thursday, we hit it hard early in the morning. Tee-off time, 7 a.m., and we will go through the day until about 6 o'clock. That's because we have a full field of 144 players. Everything will open that day, with the exception of Kraft Heinz and J. Brewer. We then will continue on to Friday, second round of play. Again, a long day of play, 7 a.m. tee times, most likely going till 6 in the afternoon or 6 in the evening. And everything will be open that day, including J. Brewers and Fredericks, which is, a huge fan favorite. Saturday, we have our third round. That's when the field goes down to half of the 144, right about. We have our 5K family walk and run over at Rockford High School that morning. We also have our kids clinic at noon over at Boulder Creek, and play continues throughout that day. At the end of play that day, the Red Bull Air Force will be doing a flyover, and we will have Air Force jumpers on 4 Fairway and 18. So that'll be fun, always is a great way to end that day. Sunday, Father's Day, and that's when the whole team says, great, we're almost there, we'll sleep when it's over. So Father's Day, we hope to end by about 4 p.m. with the champion ceremony on 18 green. That's our week. I've got some new updates. Taylor's going to tell you about those, some really neat expansions this year, which have allowed us to sell more tickets. And like I said, we are blowing through them fast, so thank you.
Nice job. All right, on to the build. I'll walk through each of our structures, our builds, and then we'll walk through some of the work we've been doing with the path that's now running along Blythefield. So J. Brewers and Fredericks, we are expanding that area to accommodate the demand in tickets. We're expanding the seating along 4 Fairway, and then we're also planning to do a secondary structure that is going to be at 4 Green, that's attached to the J. Brewers and Fredericks ticket. So those that are in that structure will also have viewing at 4 Green as well. On to Kraft Heinz Pavilion. Due to, again, the demand for that area, we are expanding the capacity and the seating around 17 Green. So the viewing there is great, the experience is great, extremely family friendly. And then on to Discoveryland, which is where our kids' activities are. And we have a ton of vendors and partners that are going to be in that space supporting our kids' programming. 18 Green Hospitality, we've got some slight adjustments there on the build. And we've got public viewing on 18 Green, which doesn't really exist at any other golf event. And then on to the bike plan. So we are now with the new bike path, we are going to have some bike parking near the entry to Blythefield. We're working closely with the Township, with Kent County Sheriff's Department, our parking management team, and everybody to make sure that this plan works well. And from a public parking standpoint, we will be utilizing Rockford High School again as our primary public parking And then Northview will be kind of where we do our credential parking, so all of our volunteers, sponsors, and tournament partners will be parking there. And like I mentioned, we're gonna be working again with Sheriff's Department to make sure that we're doing it all as safe as possible. I'll quickly touch on this. We are working again with everybody who I mentioned previously on working through a crosswalk plan. We don't promote and will not promote people parking in the neighborhood, but some neighbors do sell spaces in their yards to park, and we want to make sure that those people are getting to the tournament safely rather than just cutting across Rogue River Road, which anybody who's been over there knows that some people drive pretty fast. So we are going to be working with the Sheriff's Department. We have a couple spots along Rogue River Road where we're going to be monitoring and pushing people to the crosswalk to get to the tournament safely. That's it for us.
I just want to say on behalf of the Meyer Corporation, Meyer Leadership, Plainfield Country Club, and the many food pantries, we say thank you. We appreciate all that you've done.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Taylor. Any comments from the board? Go ahead, John.
I'm excited about this year's. Been every other year, and I know you have too, Tom, so it's great. You stole my thunder. I was going to ask that you put bike racks there because I live in Plainfield Acres right across the street and intended to take my bike, but you already figured that out, so that's great. Appreciate
You had a
very much.
Meyer team member ahead of you who spotted that. He's a big biker, so, yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep, I want to thank you guys for coming, and I want to let everybody know, if you've not been to this event, you owe it to yourself. Bring your family. It's very affordable. It's a great time. It's super well-run. I can't say enough good things about these folks and the job they do. It's a tremendous asset to our community. Think of all the visitors that spend some funds in our businesses along the avenue and Northland Drive, West River. So it's just a fantastic thing, and it's a really, really high-quality event. So thanks again, guys. I appreciate you. Okay, next item on our agenda is to conduct a couple public hearings. Our first one is to consider a brownfield redevelopment plan for the Raven Townhouse project. Elizabeth, okay.
Hello. Oh, can you hear me? All right. Hi. The applicant is also in the audience tonight, but I'll start by just giving a brief overview. This is the third brownfield plan that's come before you. The first two were back in 2024. So just as a brief refresher, brownfield plans are funded much like a DDA or a CIA. It's a tax increment financing plan. And this request tonight is for the corner of 5 Mile and East Beltline. It's for 10 years, which is significantly less than what you saw in 2024. Those plans were for 20 and 25 years. So this is a relatively modest ask of the township. The development went through its planning phase in 2024, early 2025, and is currently under construction. The total ask from the BRA and the township is just over $978,000, funded through, again, that tax increment financing. The township's Brownfield Redevelopment Authority reviewed the plan and measured it against its guidance document and found that the request was reasonable and it was a necessity for the project to be financially viable. So they did approve the request and recommended that the township board do the same at the meeting tonight. If you have any questions on the project or tax increment financing, let me know.
Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. At this time, I went through the rules, so I'm not going to do that again. I'd open the floor for any public comments about this townhome project. Oh, where did Jared? Jared, do you want to speak before? Okay, go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm here with Dave Visser, the developer on the project. Appreciate your consideration of this request. Elizabeth did a great intro. These are two-story townhome units, a little different than the previous multifamily projects that were brought for your consideration. So these are a little larger. I think it would average around 1,500 square feet, 12 two-beds and 12 three-bed units for this project. This isn't the immediate plan, but units like these could lend well towards a future conversion to a for-sale product. Dave does a great job with what he does, and obviously from the rental standpoint, it's easier to bring those online, finance them, et cetera. We are under the guidelines. The project does qualify for up to 16 years. We pared this back to a 10-year request. We just needed a little extra lift to get the project over the hump. We had originally reached out to Elizabeth, just timeline-wise. I know Elizabeth touched that, the project is under construction. We had reached out back in August of 2025. We submitted a plan in November. There was some back and forth with some revisions. We submitted an updated plan in December. Everybody is aware Elizabeth was out on leave. And so it just took longer to get in front of you with this request. The project was always underwritten with some level of financial support in terms of making that pencil. So I just wanted to touch on the timeline because the natural question would be, why are you coming now? This has been in the works for quite a long time, but obviously it just took longer to get in front of you. But I guess I will pause there. The housing TIF component, we are proposing 5 of the 24 units that would be maintained for a period of 10 years at 120% or less area median income. Like I said, these are larger units, bodes well for a family coming to the area. So trying to chip away at incremental gains on the housing needs for the community. And with that, I will pause and answer any questions, but we certainly appreciate your consideration this evening.
Okay, thank you, Jared. I'm going to open the floor for the public now. Does anybody have any comments towards this project? Okay, seeing nobody, I will close the floor for public comments, and we'll move on to board discussion. Jack, do you have anything?
No, I think the need for housing is very important, so I'm in favor of it.
Okay, thank you. Kathy?
I don't have any questions. Thank
Okay,
you.
Bob?
I'm excited about projects like that because, like you say, it brings new families into the area. But I think the most intriguing part is who built that arch? I build homes, and I look at that and I thought, did you guys bring over some Egyptians or some mound builder? What did you do? I said,
well, so the arch is a carryover. When I bought the 3 parcels, the arch was in the backyard of the current home that we destroyed to make that project. And we saved it, we put it in the back corner, we strapped it out, and we intentionally put it where it belongs now. And we restored it, and we've kept it in 100% tax. So we felt it was a great spot for a sitting area in the development, and that's what we're doing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Susan?
I was concerned about some amenities that have been showing up at different locations. One that worries me a lot is the dog walk area. I didn't see one on your map. Do you have an area for walking your dogs?
Yeah, so we do actually, during the construction in building 5 and 6, between 4 and 5, there is a area where we can fence in an area for a dog area.
Oh, okay, thank you.
We
I
haven't
just
built it
read
yet, but
all
it
of
is in
that and
there.
skipped right over it. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Thank you.
You bet.
Steve?
I'm good.
Okay, all right. I am good as well. It's nice to see development happening. So with that being said, I would seek a motion at this time.
I move that the Township Board approve the resolution creating a brownfield redevelopment plan for Raven Townhomes, a housing project at 3144 5 Mile Road for a period of 10 years with an additional 5 years of capture for the state and local brownfield revolving funds based on the following findings of fact. 1, the subject property is eligible for Act 381 tax increment financing as a housing property. 2, the expenses requested for reimbursement are eligible under Act 381. 3, the end-use project has the following elements that meet the township's criteria for investment. A, missing middle housing provision. B, workforce housing provision.
Thank you, Kathy. Support?
Support.
Oh, I heard Jack first, so. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
Mr. McKellar, yes. Mr. Hagedorn.
Yes.
Ms. Beatty.
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow.
Yes.
Mr. Remenga.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Steve. Next item on our agenda is to consider a proposed amendment to the development area for the Plainfield Avenue Corridor Improvement Authority. You're going to speak to this one?
Thank you, Tom. So this is actually a redo of a letter that we had sent out actually in December of '24, and I would understand if no one recalls that letter because it has been some time. We went through the process of expanding the Corridor Improvement Authority, and then our attorneys realized we had some missteps along the way, so we're redoing that. So we sent another letter. The letter you received, I'm guessing a lot of you are here for that reason, included the attorney's letter, didn't include the letter that we had included the first time that added a lot of clarity. I'm not going to read it all, but some of the key elements, it clarified what a Corridor Improvement Authority is and does. It's not a term a lot of people understand. They may be a little bit more familiar with the Downtown Development Authority. That's a more common economic development tool, and we have one of those in Comstock Park. This is similar to that along Plainfield Avenue. Questions that we anticipate would come up from this: would this increase my property tax? No. In and of itself, a Corridor Improvement Authority does not increase taxes. What it actually does is takes a portion of the taxes you are currently paying and applies them to projects within that Corridor Improvement Authority district. Would it change zoning? No. Corridor Improvement Authority districts have no authority over zoning. That remains the authority of the Township's Planning Commission. Does the CIA take any money away from Northview Public Schools or Kent District Library? The answer is no to both of those. School districts and libraries are both exempt from CIA tax capture. And why is the township interested in expanding the CIA? That's probably the biggest question. So the township has been pursuing a corridor redevelopment effort for, we're going on probably 6-7 years on this now since we've been doing this in earnest. And it started with a lot of planning and community input. And so there were a lot of input sessions on what the public wanted to see, how the corridor should be improved. There was a lot of ideas of how to improve the corridor that were kind of all over the spectrum in terms of, I want it the way it looked back in 1973. Sorry, it's not happening, folks, when the mall was in full effect, to something completely different. The one thing people did agree on was that they wanted something different than what they see today. That was pretty unanimous throughout all the public input that we had received, that residents wanted to see, at that time, the Whitmark building removed. They wanted to see other blight addressed. And so in that time, we have been addressing these issues. We have worked with the owner of the Whitmark building to get the building torn down. Still working on getting that vacant lot activated as something else. That's the next step. But we've also been addressing some of these other blight issues throughout the corridor. This Corridor Improvement Authority is another tool to help make that happen. So it is a group of local residents and business owners that live and work on the corridor that make decisions to invest existing tax dollars into the corridor and make sure that those dollars are being directed in the best manner to fit the needs of the corridor and the people who live there. One thing that we are doing now, as opposed to when this started, and this is not new. This has actually been in the township since 2006. Should be a map at the end of this. There we go. Okay, get through all the parcel numbers, you get to the map. This is the proposed new Corridor Improvement Authority area. I will blow it up so it's a little easier to read. Today, the existing one starts at 4 Mile, goes up Plainfield Avenue, and stops at Airway. That is, you'll see this kind of blue line, if you can see that, that is the existing Corridor Improvement Authority. That's been around for 20 years now. The pink shaded area, pink, lavender, whatever you want to call it, that is the expanded area. The expansion has two particular things in mind. One, we want to capture the entire commercial corridor of Plainfield Avenue and Northland because they really are one active as one commercial corridor, and a lot of traffic uses that, what MDOT calls the M44 connector on a daily basis. The other piece, it actually goes wider into the neighborhoods, and that is intentional. The intent was to connect existing residential neighborhoods with a commercial corridor for one cohesive neighborhood, not a commercial neighborhood and adjacent residential neighborhoods, but to have it actively work together as one community, one neighborhood. This also allows the CIA board to be made up of more neighbors who live in and around the corridor, and it also allows improvements to be made further off of Plainfield Avenue. So there may be some public spaces that could be better utilized through Corridor Improvement Authority funds for the advancement of this whole neighborhood. So that's what's in store here. Tonight's action is simply to expand the boundaries from the existing blue boundaries to the larger lavender boundaries and allow the current CIA to do activities in a broader area. That means two things. It means that the tax capture, again, not a tax increase, but a capture of existing taxes would have a broader base, which would allow a larger portion of funding to go towards these activities, but it also allows that money to be spent in a broader area as well. So that's what's in front of you tonight. Hopefully that answers a lot of the questions that may have been on your mind, but we do have a public hearing that will allow you to make comments on anything else that may be on your mind.
Okay, thank you, Cameron. You guys are good? Okay. At this time, I'd open the floor for public comments about the Corridor Improvement Authority. Anybody have any? Yes, sir.
Ryan Biggins, 1941 Westwood Drive. I don't think just by making Plainfield a boulevard and putting trees and plants in the middle is really going to help out. You know, the Whitmark old, lot, that needs to be addressed. Why can't we find somebody to do something with that? It's awful. And I'm sure people living in the back of that don't like looking at that every day. I don't like driving by it anymore. I think it's really sad. But I mean, the boulevard has created a lot of animosity between people, people there. I think there's been more accidents. My roommate got hit because somebody was flying through a parking lot at the AGO on Westwood and Plainfield. Because of that, everybody's cutting through, trying to get where they need to go because they can't go across Plainfield anymore. I just think that it's a huge waste of money for adding trees and plants and putting up cement. What's going to happen is, are the plants always going to be taken care of, or are they going to die and all the weeds, just be taken over and it looks like crap again? So that's all.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name is Paul Bolkins, 4001 Suburban Shores. Speaking also about the Corridor Improvement Authority, I was disappointed at how vague this letter was and what the purpose of the CIA was. I'm also concerned that by capturing more dollars for use for the corridor improvement, that again, it's very vague and very ambiguous as to how this money is going to be spent. And I think I would echo the previous speaker's comments that if your intent is to expand what you've done on Plainfield already with the medians and the limited turn lanes and things like that. I don't think that most of us are in support of that. Following the logic that was shared with us at other meetings about your plans with MDOT to create those medians, following that logic, there should be no left turns on Plainfield if we're trying to increase safety, because that would eliminate all those left turns that people are making. So I would just encourage the township and the board to do a better job of illustrating and illuminating us as what your plans are for these dollars, rather than just clawing them back. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Megan Cyphers. I live at 3911 Jupiter Ave. So I am a mom of 5. I have 5 kids from ages 3 to 16. I have 2 kids that attend schools here in Northview, and I can't let my kids walk to the playground or to school because we don't have a sidewalk on Jupiter Ave where people fly. My kids have been narrowly missed being hit by a car. I know neighbors have had the same situation. When I bought my home here in 2022, it was kind of at the time that chatter about this redevelopment project was just starting, and I was really excited about it, based on the plans that you guys have on the website and stuff. Imagining it a little bit more like Creston or Knapp's Corner, or similar types of areas. I was really excited, but similar to what that gentleman just said, after watching the medians go up, I'm less excited. I feel very frustrated that the first project ended with really little to no improvement, and that the money was spent on things like flowers in the medians that already existed versus creating new medians or putting a roundabout in at Jupiter and Plainfield, or putting sidewalks in on Jupiter, or I'm blanking, the one where the elementary school is that it's on, or making that random park that nobody uses on Holtman into a dog park. I don't know, there's just so many different ways that I expected the money to be spent. So I am excited personally to have this expansion in, because now it includes me, so maybe I can join this. I don't even know how or whatever, but I'm excited about that. But I did want to attend tonight and voice, just as a community member who doesn't usually have time for this, because again, I have 5 kids and a full-time job, but yeah, it's been disappointing, it's been frustrating, and nothing that's happened so far has made my life easier as a resident, so thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. I'm working your way.
Hi there, my name is Tyler Kotlars. We have properties, we're a business owner at 5285 Plainfield, 5333 Plainfield, and 3985 Plainfield. 3985 Plainfield is in the current corridor where the improvements have taken place. And as a business owner there, we've seen some of the happenings because of that, and how it affects businesses in that area. For instance, we are right on Hunsberger and Plainfield. There's a left-hand turn there, and what many people do, because the medians are so skinny, they can't turn around fully on Plainfield, so they're using other businesses' parking lots, including our own, to pull in and then turn around back on Plainfield to access whatever road they're trying to get back to on Plainfield. So I'm very for development and improvements, but seeing what has happened with the turnarounds and the access to businesses in the first phase, I just ask you guys to consider that in the development of the future part of Plainfield, as we have 2 other business locations there, and that does affect us and scare us that the same thing will happen. So in summary, making sure those turnarounds, if they are in there, they are navigable. People can turn around with the Michigan left turn, but if the room is not there to suffice, I would recommend not doing it, as they're not navigable. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Lola Gallant, 4160 Miramar. I live behind the Whitmark property. We are very adamant about what, as our neighborhood, would like to see back there, or don't want to see. We don't want to see the apartments from like the Brownfield redevelopment. We don't want those people, apartments looking into our backyard. When you took the Whitmark building down, I understand why it needed to become down, but nothing was put in for us for the noise that we get from Jupiter and from the car wash that we listen to now, where the Whitmark building blocked all that. So we just like you to take consideration is when somebody does buy it or whatever, think of us that live in that little corridor and what we will have to look at. Because right now it's just a green space and most of us are happy with it. If you're driving down Jupiter, pay attention to the road, don't worry about what's going on there. It's good the way it is until somebody decides to do something with it. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to close the floor for comments on that. We are not taking action on this item tonight, so that concludes that portion. Next item is to move into our new business, which is to consider approving a developmental liquor license for Great Lakes Pickleball Club. That was a mouthful. Okay, Cameron.
Okay, so this is, following up on our Plainfield discussion, some development that is going on in the corridor right now. We have a new business that is coming in to, people probably recognize as Venom Motorsports, or that property behind the car wash maybe is the best determination for a lot of people. But we do have Great Lakes Pickleball Club coming in, and as a part of their business model, they anticipate hosting corporate functions and different events that typically necessitate a liquor license. The liquor license process for local governments, usually the state will allocate new licenses based on growth every 10 years. The township did receive an allocation in 2022, at which point they were awarded to a couple of businesses, and so there are no general liquor licenses to allocate to a new business. So the state does have a provision for developmental liquor licenses that are in development areas like DDAs and CIAs. So this is currently in the CIA district, the existing CIA district, and so it does qualify. Some of the qualification requirements are that the business make at least $75,000 in investment into the property, that the overall corridor or the development area has seen at least $200,000 in investment over the prior 5 years, that we don't have any other licenses to allocate, and then the last item would be approval from the township board. So that's what's before you tonight. We do have the applicant here. Did you want to give a presentation tonight, Rachel?
Good evening, Rachel Lee. I'm working with the applicant, owners of Great Lakes Pickleball Club. We feel that this application here is what the Corridor Improvement District has been asking for. More places for people to travel to, not just Plainfield to travel through. And this beautiful facility has, 4 pickleball courts, plenty of seating, and will be a business that's going to encourage people to come on down to 4180 Jupiter Avenue Northeast, the old Venom Motorsports, They've really done a wonderful job as far as providing not just the pickleball courts, but seating, areas for people to gather, for people to have meetings. And so there's multiple different services that are going to be in this building. And part of the Corridor Improvement Authority, their Reimagine Plainfield, I couldn't sleep one night, so I read the plan, 151 pages. And but, is to build vibrant places. And how do you do that when you have like North Kent Mall, you have all that, a pothole city, parking lots, and it's taking buildings that are underutilized and creating active, different types of uses that bring people together and bring community. And so by having like an active recreation use, and being able to do some hospitality, taking out, some of the parking lot in the front for a patio, really creates an environment where people can hang out and not just come and play, but they can gather, they can sit. And that, for more people that are living in the neighborhood for places to go, that's what you want. You want to be able to go someplace close. You want to be able to stay there. And you also want to be able to bring your friends and family to the area and have other things to do. One of the nice things too is business-to-business growth that they have here because, supporting other businesses when they're having private parties and events for food options. So I feel like it looks like a win-win situation. These are what you want in your, Reimagine Plainfield plan to have more businesses investing in buildings and building vibrant spaces. So this is Brandon. Talk a little bit about the project.
Yes, Brandon Teets, owner of Great Lakes Pickleball Club. Thank you for having us. We are excited about the project. To what many of you in previous said relative to the area, right? We are excited to bring this to Plainfield Township, right? To have a place for community-based families, businesses, right? We also live and work here as well. We plan to engage with the community and continue to grow the CIA, the DDA. And our request here is to formally request approval for a Class C liquor license that will help people play and stay, right? I think as Rachel said, not traveling through Plainfield, but looking at it as a place to genuinely enjoy, to be, and to want to spend their time and frankly their money, right? And to continue to flourish that back through Plainfield Township. So we have spent a lot of time and energy. We've thought through, we've done a lot of surveys. We've thought through what we've already heard tonight as well to bring that into this facility at 4180 Jupiter. So you have a better place. We're working on our landscaping. So when you look through Whitmark, we'll have some nice landscaping for you to look at. We're not going to be noisy, but this idea is just to bring more people from West Michigan and around the country that are pickleball advocates to come and enjoy what we have to offer here. So again, our request is approval for the ability to go forward with Class C to the MLCC. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Any comments, any public comments on this particular issue? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the floor for public comments. We'll move on to board discussion. Kathy, do you have anything?
You had me at pickleball. I'm good, thank you.
Not very well. I could hardly get that out. Susan, do you have anything?
I was wondering about expansion outside. Any kind of plans that would take the people outside to actually play pickleball outside of the building?
Elizabeth might be a little bit more versed in this part than myself, but we have talked through that previously. We've sidebarred that for the time being so that we can open something great without worrying about nuisance of noise and more outdoor activity that may not be wanted, right? But so the idea in the future would be to do so, right? Let's see how this enhances the area, the traffic, the business, et cetera. So we do have roughly 4 acres from Tommy's to the north, right? The entrance, as everybody knows, that is Lowe's off Jupiter. So we have all up until there. Plenty of space to continue to do great things depending on what the township continues to have to offer. I think will dictate what we do or don't do. Outdoor courts, as you know, we had thorough conversations with Elizabeth over the last year and a half maybe, and understanding there are a lot of requests about pickleball and more access to pickleball through Plainfield Township and frankly, everywhere around the world. So we're excited to be able to do that. That's one small piece. Yes, the future would look at doing so, but we would work with the township and the neighbors around to understand how we do that in a way that is not concerning to the neighborhood around us.
Thank you.
Steve?
Yeah, I support any project that keeps the businesses in Plainfield and not going to our neighbors.
Okay. Bob?
Yeah, another project I'm excited about, because what happens is, ever since the demise of Fingers, there hasn't really been a lot of places to have meetings. I mean, you have to go, where do you go? And this is exciting for that, and I think anything, like Tom had said, that kind of condenses all the activity into one area like that, I think it's a big plus for the community.
Thanks, Bob. Jack?
Yes, one of the goals of Reimagine Plainfield is to have Plainfield as a destination as opposed to just passing through. And I think this fits this perfectly.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you for bringing your business here. We all know pickleball's wildly popular, so hope you got a lot of courts inside the old movie theater, for those of you who don't know. Okay. So with that, I would seek a motion.
I recommend the approval of a developmental liquor license for Great Lakes Pickleball as presented.
I'll
I
second.
support.
Thank you, Kathy. I think Bob got you. So roll call vote, please.
Mr. McKellar, yes. Mr. Hagedorn?
Yes.
Ms. Beatty?
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow?
Yes.
Mr. Emminga?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
All and approved.
All right, thank you. All right, item B, consider approval and certification of a resolution for a non-motorized public trails and recreation areas millage renewal proposal. Is this you, Cameron?
Bill and Joe joined us
Bill?
tonight, so why don't we give them a chance to talk? So go for it. Why don't you talk about the trails,
Thank you,
guys?
Cameron. Last month, he stole our thunder before we got to our staff report, but we presented this to the board last month, so rather than go in depth and everything, I'll just give a brief summary here for those that want to hear it. So back in 2016, 2015, township voters approved a 10-year millage for trails and public recreational areas. Well, here we are, so it started in 2016. 10 years later, we've collected about $6.4 million from that, and we've been able to develop almost 9 miles of public trails with that millage that our residents approved, including the most recent one, which is a 2-mile stretch, which is going on right now, over on Rogue River Road. That'll be complete in another couple weeks. This week, they're going to be placing, they unfortunately have to close the bridge over the Rogue River for a week or 6 days, but they'll be placing the pedestrian bridge and building it, which would be right next to the bridge that goes over it. So it'll be a separate pedestrian bridge that people will be able to go across the river on safely without having to navigate next to traffic. That's going to be built this week, so that's huge. There'll be a lot of drone footage taken of that. It's a pretty cool thing and documented. So that's our last trail project that we've been able to fund through this Trails Millage. So now that it's expired, the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee has discussed, it's the group that you look to give you recommendations. Staff and the committee met, and they would like the board to consider requesting the voters for a straight renewal of the existing millage, not an increase. That was an option we could ask for, or to restore it back to the original 0.5 mils, half mils. Now with the Headley rollback over the years, I think we were down to 0.4648 mils. What does that mean? That means that someone with a taxable value of $150,000 house, the taxable value, not assessed, would pay about $70 a year. With the rollback that's predicted for 2026 or approved for 2026, that's gone back a little bit more. So same house, same thing, it'd be about $69 a year. That's what they're paying now, about $70, so $1 less because of the Headley rollback. So what the board is being asked to do tonight is to approve a resolution that simply asks the vote to put it on the August 4th primary ballot to ask the voters. You're not approving this. tonight, the actual millage, the voters, we're asking you to put it in front of the voters, let them decide. That's all you're doing tonight. So with that, the committee and staff recommend, we provided you with a resolution that was prepared with the assistance of our attorney. And again, if we're able to do this, we're going to march on and continue to build more trails and recreational areas for our residents based on the Trails Master Plan, et cetera. So I think we've come a long ways with that. With the trail system, every time I drive home, I live by the high school, Rockford High School, I see them on our trail system every night, lunchtime, all the time. And we've had a lot of people compliment on our trails. It's been a little tough for some people at first when they say, I don't want this trail in front of my house, but now they're big users of it. So it's really helped our community, even the marketing of their house if they go to resell, et cetera, but really gets people off the road, safe place. The resident with 5 kids, and I'm sure she could appreciate a trail in the area too. So that's what we want to do with it and continue with it. So yeah, this resolution is before you tonight to put it on the ballot. Joe, did you have anything to add?
The only thing I would say is that with your current millage, is that not only were you able to build the 6, 7, or 9 miles, 9 miles. I wasn't here when when the millage passed, but you've also been able to leverage other entities, specifically Kent County Parks, to obviously that's who's building the bridge. That's who's going to be building the tunnel. So you've been able to leverage that, and they're actually going to build even more trails that continue this trail system. So not only has that millage helped build some local trails, but also we've been able to leverage other communities to bring in more money and to get further development. So I think it's really important that people not only look at what their tax dollars got, but it also brought in other tax dollars, so to help us out.
Okay, thank you, Bill and Joe. You're all set? Okay. Any public comments on the proposed trails and recreation millage? Okay, seeing no one, I'll close the floor for that. We'll move on to board discussion. Steve?
The trail system is an awesome entity for the township, and I believe the continuation of this millage with public approval will be awesome for the township.
Thank you. Susan?
I agree.
Bob?
I agree as well.
Kathy?
Just wanting to emphasize this is a renewal. It's not asking for more, and I think that's important for us to stress and to promote as we get those votes.
Thank you. Jack?
Short explanation of the Headley Amendment. You may have heard this many times and try and figure out what it is. As your taxable value goes up because of inflation, the amount of tax, the millage, goes down to balance that out. So you're not paying more taxes on your property because of inflation, because it balances out. I hope that makes things a little more clear.
Yeah, I'm all in favor. You'd go by any trail and they're just really being used, and it's a definite big asset for our community. So, yeah. I would be remiss in not thanking the committee, the Trails and Rec Committee, who work very hard and give us lots of good recommendations. So I appreciate their efforts. So I'd seek a motion at this time.
I move that the Township Board approve the resolution to approve and certify a non-motorized public trails and recreation area millage renewal proposal as presented.
Thank you, Steve. Support?
Support.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hagedorn.
Yes.
Ms. Beatty.
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow.
Yes.
Mr. Emminga.
Yes.
Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
Mr. McKellar, yes. Motion carried.
Thank you, sir. Next item on our agenda is to consider the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority's 2026 budget.
Okay, I'll start off and you want me to take it all? Okay. So Elizabeth typically handles our brownfield, but I'll let her jump in with anything I may have missed. So we have 2 items here. They really go hand in hand. In fact, we debated which one to put first, chicken or the egg kind of thing. Jen, it's the chicken, right? Chicken comes before the egg? Okay. We've had that debate. So we have in front of you two items. We have a budget for the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. We also have a request pending that budget to make a loan from the general fund to that authority to pay some of its initial bills. So they really go hand in hand. You can't really do the second one without the first one, so we decided to do it in this order. This is a little bit outside of our typical budget process and timeline, right? Typically, we are just starting the budget process for next year at this point. This is a catch-up. As we looked at the Corridor Improvement Authority and working with our attorney, he also recognized that we should go through some additional steps for the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority to make sure that the budget there before expenditures, back up a second, they haven't actually spent any money yet. So we're not in default of anything here, but we do need to have a budget in place before they spend money. And so the way this works, right, so we understand that the tax capture, these projects like the one approved tonight will take a portion of the taxes they are paying and get a portion of that back. Now, a sliver of that will come to the township for the administration of the Brownfield program. And that's our challenge. Right now, the piggy bank's empty, and there's some administration costs to be paid from day one. So that's what's included in this budget request here. $20,000 loan from the general fund to get it going, and then that will be paid back over time as these projects generate revenue, and that revenue grows, as Jack informed us about how tax revenue grows over time. So that loan will be paid back to the general fund. The Brownfield budget itself is relatively simple. I'll skip to that. A nice accounting spreadsheet. We're expecting in the first year tax capture from the two projects that you had previously approved, not tonight's. There's a capture anticipated in the first year of $22,000 and $64,000. Most of that will go back to those project developers as the program is intended to do. But there is some administrative costs. We need to do compliance. As the developer tonight, his attorney was explaining, a number of units will be protected for those that are under 120% of area median income. Someone's got to verify that and send that to the state of Michigan. So we intend to use, the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority has already approved using the consultant Fishback, who's been working with us all along the way, to establish that process for us to make sure that we're doing it in a legally compliant manner. To do that is some initial setup costs. It's more expensive the first year than ongoing costs future years. So that's why we need that transfer, that $20,000 transfer the first year to make sure we've got the funds in place. So appropriations, you've got contracted services, that's Fishback. And then we have to take some of that revenue, send it to the state, send it to the various developers, and then the township starts to build a little bit of a piggy bank, really a little bit, $220, $615. But over time, these projects were permitted for 20 plus years. That will start to grow. And then the advantage of that is not just paying that administrative overhead cost, but also being able to take on projects. Maybe there is a property that is blighted and the property owner has gone into bankruptcy. The Brownfield could come in and help clean up a property that is a nuisance to the neighborhood or to the township. So those are the kind of opportunities that may come down the road, and we're talking decades down the road at this point. But you have to start somewhere, and that's where we're starting today. So all in, it's a total budget of $107,296 anticipated yet for fiscal year 2026. Anything I missed on that?
I do just want to add that the Brownfield Authority thought that Fishback was kind of the natural choice here. Not a lot of other contractors or private companies do this kind of work. So we're kind of lucky that Fishback even does. It's a relatively new process. And the county is starting their own branch of their Brownfield Authority that also is looking to do this kind of work. So in the future, we might be able to partner with the county for some cost savings once Fishbeck kind of gets the ball rolling for us. So there's an opportunity for cost savings, I think, in the future. But for right now, this is what made the most sense to the authority.
And I know Elizabeth wasn't going to say this. She found savings herself and found tasks that she could accomplish herself and save from consultant time. So she was able to knock that price down the first year by at least, what, $6,000, I think it was, for the first year. So kudos to her for really looking through the task list and figuring out what we could handle in-house and what we needed consultants to do.
Okay, so I will open the floor for public comments relating to the budget part of this. I don't see anybody who wants to do that. Do we want to just do board discussion all at once, or we want to do these separately? Well, let's just do them together. So any public comments about the loan to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority? I don't see anybody for that either, so board discussion, do we have any, Jack? This is kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's good to note that the Brownfield Development Authority and the CIA are two separate things. They both are set up in such a way that there are tax savings for the owner of the property, but they are two different things. However, it's possible for a parcel to be in both.
Okay, Bob?
No, I'm good.
Thanks. Steve? Steve, sorry, I looked the other way. I was looking at who's not, sorry. Okay, Susan?
Okay.
Kathy?
I'm good. Realizing that 20,000 is coming out of general fund and will be paid back, so I'm
Correct.
good with that.
Yep. Okay. I would seek a motion at this time.
I move that the Township Board approve the resolution authorizing a mid-year general fund budget amendment and a $20,000 loan to the Plainfield Charter Township Brownfield Redevelopment Authority as presented.
Thank you, Susan.
Point
Support?
of order.
Jack?
Shouldn't we
Separate
pass-
motions?
Shouldn't we pass the first one first?
Yeah, let's do separate motions on the two so we're clear. I'm sorry, Susan.
Okay?
Okay, can you just, let's do the first,
Read the first part and leave the second part.
yes, yeah, just read,
9C.
yeah.
I move that the Township Board approve the resolution authorizing the mid-year general fund budget amendment.
Thank you. Support.
Support.
Oh, wait a minute, Steve's,
That's still item D. We need to do item C first.
Susan, we're gonna get you there.
I move that the Township Board approve the 2026 Brownfield Redevelopment Authority budget as presented.
There we go. Support now.
Support.
Thanks, Jack. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Beatty?
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow?
Yes.
Mr. Emmiga?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Mr. McKellar, yes. And Mr. Hagedorn?
Yes.
All right,
Carried.
let's try the other one.
I move that the Township Board approve the resolution authorizing a mid-year general fund budget amendment and a $20,000 loan to the Plainfield Charter Township Brownfield Redevelopment Authority as presented.
Thank you, Susan. Support from that Jack guy again. Roll call vote.
Mrs. Morrow?
Yes.
Mr. Emmiga?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Mr. McKellar, yes. Mr. Hagedorn?
Yes.
Ms. Beatty?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, it's that time of night. Cameron, you're on the,
Right.
you're up.
Couple items for you on the consent agenda, and I know we don't talk specifically about these items, but I do want to bring one to your attention. Our water department, as we look at finding additional source water, we're also looking at finding how to save the water that we are using. It's not uncommon for a municipal water system to have some leakage in the system, and we anticipate, we know how much we produce and send out of the plant, we know how much we bill customers, and those numbers don't align, and that's not uncommon. We estimate it's about an 8 to 9% water loss somewhere along the way. So kudos to our water distribution staff who have been working to find new technologies to seek where is that water going. And so one of them, one that you approved tonight, is new technology called water detection system that listens to the pipes, and it is actually listening for things that are out of order, and it can determine. I don't know the science behind it, but it has worked. That's what I know. It is effective in finding areas where water is seeping out of connections, broken water main that hasn't been a full main break that people see water gushing into the street. It's not to that point yet, it's just a crack. To date, the systems that we've tested have found leaks that total about 250,000 gallons a day. And that's in the winter when we produce 3 to 4 million gallons a day. So that's a significant amount of water that we're already treating, we're already pumping, we're already treating, already putting out into the system and isn't making it to customers. So as we work at conservation, that's a big part of the conservation as well. Let's conserve the water that we've already treated and have already put into the system, and it just isn't making it to customers. So that was one of the things on consent agenda tonight. Our staff wanted to look at a 5th system. They've tested out 4. There's one more they want to look at. And really, they're testing some of them literally side by side to make sure this system caught it, did that system catch it? And they want to determine what system is going to be the best to use a little bit more widespread through the township. Now, it's not going to be on every inch of every pipe. They understand the system to know where to focus, where do we have older water main, where do we have a history of main breaks, where do we have other things that are suspicious. Maybe there's something that just doesn't seem right in some area. So they know just from knowledge of the system where to look first. And as they find some of those, and they have, then they can address those and then move on to other areas. So they want equipment that will be on it for maybe months at a time, maybe a couple of years at a time if it's an area that is prone to water leakage or breaks, but not necessarily every inch of water main through the township. That would be cost prohibitive. So kudos to them for their proactive work. This is not something that is done commonplace through municipal water systems. It is done in other places. We're not the only ones doing it, but it is not a common practice yet at this point. So appreciate their willingness to try something new and find a way to save us all money.
Cameron, will they, we're going to do a big water project at Hills and Dales. Is it possible that at the end of the process, the project, do they do that kind of survey to check and make sure that the new thing is working 100%, no leakage?
I talked to our water staff to find out for sure. It seems to me if you've put in a brand new water main with new connections that you've just laid eyes on, that's probably not going to be a good candidate because once they've firmed all that up, it should be in great shape for a number of years before it starts to show leaks.
Okay.
So, but I'll leave that to the expertise of our water staff to determine if that's a good candidate or not. A few other things going on. So we heard about one new pickleball location coming to Plainfield. Jack had an opportunity to see another new pickleball court. Everyone wants pickleball, and we've got a lot of new pickleball in Plainfield, and we didn't pay a penny for it. So that's the best part, right? New courts up at 10 Mile. The Sports Commission just had a ribbon cutting this afternoon to show off their newest softball diamonds and pickleball courts. And those courts, while they are intended for club activity and tournaments, there will be public pickleball court availability there as well. So that's an exciting development up in our shared park off of 10 Mile there, Premier Park in the Meyer Sports Complex. So pickleball north and south of the river coming to Plainfield. So one other thing that I want to address tonight, we talked a lot about Plainfield Avenue Corridor Improvement Authority, and Board, I know we've talked about this, but I want to make sure it's clear to everyone that the Reimagine Plainfield effort is not medians, right? And the CIA had nothing to do with those medians. The Reimagine Plainfield is how do we revitalize a corridor that had been growing stagnant and had economically fallen into reverse. Property values, and that's why the CIA hasn't done anything for 10 years. because the property values were depressed. After the Great Recession, property values declined, and they just never bounced back for commercial property along the corridor. So we needed to do something. Residents were complaining about it. Some residents might like the Whitmark building there, most did not. So that was our largest complaint, singular complaint in the entire township, was the Whitmark building. It's still vacant because the owner thinks it's worth a ridiculous amount of money. So it doesn't mean it won't be developed someday, but until the amount the owner wants and some developers willing to pay, it's going to be the way it is. So, but the group that we have, that the board has appointed, group of citizens and board and business owners and business folks that work in that area have appointed, have been working over the last year to build a vision. It doesn't involve concrete medians. They don't love them either. But build a vision that helps connect the neighborhood to the commercial areas and really build something that people can be proud of and call home. So concrete medians, that was MDOT's idea. So you put in pretty flower pictures into MDOT's meat grinder and you get concrete strips, unfortunately. So we're all living with that reality, but that's how that project worked.
What about the maintenance? Someone asked about the maintenance of the.
I'm not going to get it. We're not getting into that. The last item I want to address is communications. So board members, I think you're well aware of what Chris has been able to put out in the weekly newsletter that everyone can sign up for. Tremendous amount of information is going out to our residents every week. I don't know any other community that does a weekly email newsletter, and anyone can sign up for that. Go on our website. It's easy to sign up for and understand what's going on. So thank you, Krista, for all your work on that, and keep it up, because I really think we're a shining example of communications. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Kathy, you have anything?
Yeah, just want to thank Plainfield. I attended the Michigan Township Association's conference recently and went into water structure and infrastructure workshops and was amazed at what some townships are doing and the lack of what they're doing. Many of these townships don't even know where their water lines are. And so it just made me so grateful that Plainfield, if you go to the water system plant, you're going to see charts and charts of our water lines. And it just made me think, wow, I'm really grateful to be here and for the staff that works so hard to maintain our water lines. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Susan?
I joined the concern a little while ago about someone mentioning Pothole City. And even, not even thinking about the roads, but the parking lot behind Lowe's and pickleball area. And that, I don't know, how, I understand the ownership of that property is quite interesting to try to figure out, but I believe that is a real, it's gotten to the point of it almost being dangerous because people are trying to drive in and out in between. And whatever we can do to wake up the owner, I'll make the call.
If it was one owner, it'd be easy.
Yes.
That's a problem. So since it's an old mall, there's cross-access agreements and covenants that tie various landowners together. One of them's Plainfield Township because of the fire station, right? So some of it has been addressed. Actually, they've taken off, but the new pickleball club has already paved over a section that they're responsible for. But most of it is a shared responsibility, and so we are working with the owners to address that. And not dodging our responsibility as the portion by the fire station either, but it's all shared agreements, shared responsibility, and it's a convoluted mess that maybe made sense when it was a mall. It makes zero sense today, and from a legal perspective, it's an absolute nightmare.
Thank you. And the other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is what an enjoyable experience Coffee with a Cop has become on Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock right here in this happy little room. It might be a drug addict or it might be a big, huge dog. I get a little concerned when they let the dogs loose, but anyway, they tell us it's all safe. Anyway, if you don't, we have, I recognize some people who are part of Coffee with a Cop. It's free, and every week, 10 o'clock, 1 hour in this room, and I encourage you to come.
It's actually canceled this Thursday. It just got canceled for this Thursday, just so you know.
Oh, it just got canceled, okay. Next week comes, thank you.
Steve?
I just want to start and apologize to the board for the little confusion with our motion sheet tonight. Second public hearing did not transfer from the agenda to your worksheets tonight. I apologize for that. I'll look into that and be more diligent to look at the printed or the agenda instead of, you know, how we see it without just looking at section by section. So I apologize. Secondly, we had an election last week. Had about 20% turnout in the 4 precincts. It went well. The night went well. We had a little problem with, we had to get a vendor involved to help us download one file, but after an hour's worth, we got it down, got it to the county. It was good. I'd like to thank all our precinct workers, our absentee ballot workers. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do an election. So it's, I just want to thank them again, because I don't run that show, they do. So I just deliver the paperwork to the county, so. So that's it.
Thanks, Steve. Bob?
Again, as a lifelong, almost lifelong resident of Plainfield, that's excited to see some new development coming. I remember when this just blew up, when North Kent Mall opened and all these businesses opened up, and then it kind of went backwards. And it was kind of sad, actually, to people come over, they go, where are we going to eat? Alpine Avenue. Well, that's not where you want to go eat. You want to eat on Plainfield Avenue. You want to do your business here and spend your money here. So these are all positive steps that are, I think, are exciting.
Thanks, Bob. Jack?
And I also want to talk about the dedication for the Michigan Sports Commission. You should go and take a look at that. The softball field is expert. I have not seen a better softball field ever. The pickleball fields are great. The West Michigan Sports Commission got federal help on that, and there were federal representatives there. It also got state help, and there were state representatives there. There were county employees there. Ben Green was there. Lindsay Thiel, who also represents Plainfield Township at the county level, was there. Al Vandenberg, the chief administrative officer from the county, was there. It was quite a deal. You should go and visit that just to take a look at it. Premier Park is exquisite. I don't think there's another park in the nation that offers as many things, different things, as Premier Park.
Okay, this is a tough one for me because it's kind of been a little rough night. So a couple personal shots at me. Where I live has nothing to do with your dispute with someone else. I don't know how that got in there, but it got in there. We've held meetings at 6 o'clock for over 4 years here. Tonight was a pretty good size audience, probably the most we've had in a long time. There's been no issue with people getting here when they need to be here, as far as I'm aware of. So we hear that meeting after meeting. I apologize, some of that was a little rough, but it is what it is. So with that, we're adjourned.